captured. And very interestingly, on November 24th, this is something that you need to note.
See, it also says Indian media reported that Hindu extremists involved in Maligan blast may also be behind Ajmer and Samjhauta Express blast.
See, this is what was happening.
NDTV I'm talking about.
The entire Indian media was shocked. The entire Indian nation was surprised and beyond belief for them that the entire Indian establishment, the military intelligence, their hardcore RSS were involved in every act of terror which was unfolding now. So the police officer who was investigating that, he was receiving death threats from these fascists. Colonel Prohit's arrest particularly created an urgency within these fascists.
That his home will be blown off or something like that.
To eliminate Kurkure. Yeah. And on November 24th, Indian media reported that he has been receiving death threats. His family knew about it. His friends knew about it. And he
anonymous scholar who used a public phone call office to contact the Pune police threatened to blow up the residence of Mumbai anti-terrorism squad chief Hemant Karkare within a couple of days.
That is true.
A top official
on November 24th, he received death threats, and on November 27th, he was assassinated in so-called Mumbai drama. So what was actually happening in India was that primarily, let me make it very simple for you to understand. Basically, it was a fight between the Indian military intelligence, RSS, and Indian research and analysis wing, they're in secret service, versus the Indian police. The good guys in the Indian
anti-terrorist squad, basically.
Exactly. The good guys within the Indian police, the anti-terror squad, was actually, without realizing that they had confronted, they had stumbled upon the most massive terror network in India being run by the Indian military intelligence, hands in glove with RAW, Research and Analysis Wing. Now, this was the reason, the fact that in November, one after another, their entire cadre was being arrested by Kurkure, it created an urgency within the Indian security establishment to stage a drama. What benefit would this give? For example, the first thing what happened was, by staging this Mumbai drama, that entire attention of the world turned away from these Hindu fascists, Hindu Zionists towards Pakistan.
Yep.
Second thing, the most important of them was, under the cover of this facade, under the cover of this mayhem, they were able to assassinate Kurkure and his entire team. And within 15 minutes,
first 15, exactly.
15 minutes of this drama.
And they were shot in the back.
They were shot in the back, and very fascinatingly, Kurkure was shot with 9mm pistols. The pistols that those terrorists were not carrying, the weapons those terrorists did not have. And these pistols were used by Indian police. Now,
so basically, the guns which actually
assassinated the police officer were not with the terrorists, were not with the militants.
Because they had that 30 bow. And
they had
the 9mm.
30 caliber pistols, which were .30, not 9mm. And anybody who knows guns know .30 is not 9mm. Now, interestingly, so Indians had to justify this also. So when they create a dossier against Pakistan, they show the picture of a .30 caliber pistol, but then they write underneath it's a 9mm. It's like showing a 155mm howitzer and saying it's an 8-inch mortar. Even an idiot can see they're trying to make a fool out of the word. You see? So the fact is that once this, what we are saying here is that not just us, the Western media and some of the finest Indian analysts, some of the finest and brave Indian journalists have written this categorically, that this Mumbai drama was a nexus between Mossad, RAW and RSS. That is, RSS is the hardcore Hindu Zionist organizations in India. Mossad is the Israeli intelligence services, and RAW are the Indian intelligence. And we are not saying this. The Western intelligence, the Western analysts and writers, and some of the finest Indian writers like Amaresh Misra has categorically documented these events which have led to this entire episode. And we have documented everything in this dossier. And we would recommend people to visit our website, as you said, brasstacks.pk, to download the entire dossier and see what they have. We are going to discuss a few points from this now.
So now, okay, we'll start off with this basic did. An Israeli and Jewish house was also part of this drama. Let's see what is the history of this Jewish centers in criminal and terrorist activity around the world. So you know that Chabad house is where Mossad headquarters.
You see, what happened was that primarily what the Indians were trying to do was they dragged the entire world into believing that Pakistani terrorists are involved in Mumbai. Pakistan had to be dragged in. because that would serve that initial purpose of diverting the attention from their own terrorist acts towards Pakistan. Now, one of the houses which was supposedly under attack was the Jewish house. It was Chabad House or Nariman House, whatever its name was. Now, one of the Western writers, his name is Wayne Madsen, and he writes on WayneMadsenReport.com.
He writes on the 29th of November.
Yes, and he categorically writes that there is a history of Chabad houses not only being used as safe houses and logistics center for Israeli intelligence, but as a storefront for criminal activity. You see, this particular house was basically a Mossad headquarters. And as the further report suggests very categorically, that if you come to the Indian media reports, Maharashtra Times, for example, one of the newspapers, which says that the terrorists which killed the police officer was speaking local Marathi language.